You do not fight a destroyer with a wooden boat. For decades that was the rule. Every navy knew it. Every admiral accepted it. Every sailor believed it. A destroyer, 1,500 tons of steel, radar and guns, was the hunter. A tiny 80-foot PT boat, plywood, gasoline fumes and a crew of 12 was prey. The Japanese Imperial Navy embraced that truth more than anyone. To them, these American mosquito boats were jokes. Yenkin no Yukibo, the floating coffins of the Americans. Slow, fragile, loud, easy to kill. And with US forces reeling in 1942, that contempt felt justified. Japan controlled the seas, the skies, and the supply lanes. But in that same year, under the shadow of defeat, one man in one moment began to rewrite the rule. In 1942, Lieutenant John Bulkeley changed everything. He's 33 years old. Lean, sharp-featured, with a stubborn streak that irritates superiors and electrifies subordinates. John Bulkeley grew up obsessed with machines, engines, speed, the edge where courage becomes recklessness. But what sets him apart isn't skill. It's defiance. Bulkeley commands Motor Torpedo Boat Squadron 3, just 6 PT boats thrown into the collapsing American position in the Philippines. They're outgunned, outnumbered, low on fuel, and running on scavenged parts. Their torpedoes misfire nearly 1 out of 3 times. Their engines stall without warning. And their hulls? Sheets of plywood barely thicker than a desk drawer. Yet this is the only US naval force still operating in the islands. And strategically, Japan depends on its supply convoys, columns of transports escorted by destroyers feeding the advance south. If those convoys break, momentum cracks with them. Bulkeley understands something simple. He cannot win head-on, but he can bleed them, night after night, convoy after convoy. So he gathers his crews, electricians, machinists, farm boys barely 19, and tells them the unthinkable. We're going hunting. And with that, he leads them into black waters where no one else dares go. Midnight, March 11, 1942. Mindanao Sea. Bulkeley stands at the helm of PT-41. Engines thrum beneath your boots. Triple Packard 4 minutes and minus 2,500 seconds, 1,350 horsepower each, drinking gasoline like a dragon breathes fire. Visibility, barely 500 yards. Wind, light but shifting. Enemy convoy, reported 30 miles north, moving at 12 knots. He orders throttle forward. The PT boat leaps, skimming water at 40 knots. Spray slaps your face like ice. The hull rattles. Every vibration feels like a warning. 1 a.m. lookouts spot faint silhouettes, 2 transports, 1 destroyer escort. Japanese running lights dark. Range, 2,800 yards. Bulkeley lowers his voice. Hold steady. No wake if you can help it. But at 40 knots, the wake glows white. He cuts engines to idle. Speed drops to 9 knots. The night swallows you whole. The Japanese destroyer Yugimo turns slightly. Searchlights flicker on, then sweep left. You freeze. 2,200 yards. 1,900 yards. 1,500 yards. Bulkeley whispers, closer. No one breathes. 1,200 yards. 900 yards. 700 yards. The destroyer's bow swings toward you. Its 5-inch guns elevate. One burst of fire will turn PT-41 into drifting splinters. Bulkeley waits until the enemy fills the torpedo sights. He murmurs, fire 1, fire 2. The torpedoes erupt from their tubes with a metallic shriek, steam trails glowing faintly in moonlight. The destroyer reacts instantly. Engines roar. Searchlights whip toward you. Bulkeley slams throttle to full. The PT boat bursts forward. Deck shudders. Engines scream. Tracer fire streaks across the dark like burning needles. He zigzags, 35 knots, 38, 40 shells landing 30 yards off your port bow. Behind you, impact. A guttural, booming crack that shakes the sea. One torpedo slams into the destroyer's stern. Another misses by 50 yards, streaking into the night. Flames rise. Japanese sailors scramble. The convoy panics, transports scattering. But the destroyer isn't sinking yet. Bulkeley circles back, risking everything. His crew yells that it's suicide. The destroyer's aft gun still works. But he knows, a damaged escort is still lethal. He accelerates again, 800 yards, 600 yards, 500 yards. Machine gun rounds hammer the water around the PT boat. Shrapnel slices a crewman's arm. Gasoline fumes fill your lungs. Bulkeley orders his gunners, hit her bridge. .50 calories roar. The tracers cut a line of fire across the destroyer's superstructure. Then, a second explosion from within. This one deeper, hotter, deadlier. The Yugimo begins to list. And now, the Japanese finally understand these floating coffins aren't running. They're attacking. But Bulkeley's night isn't over. 2 nights later, March 13th. Same waters, different convoy, 4 transports, 1 destroyer, 2 patrol craft. PT-34 and PT-41 attack together. This time the Japanese are ready. Searchlights sweep the sea. Star shells burst overhead, turning darkness into electric blue. Bulkeley presses forward anyway. 2,500 yards. 2,000. Tracer lines cut the sky. The boats shake under the shock waves of near misses. He orders, hold course. 1,800 yards. 1,500. Transports dead ahead. He fires 2 torpedoes. PT-34 fires 2 more. Seconds stretch like hours. Engines pound in your chest. Shell splinters rain on deck. Then twin hits. A transport erupts in fire. Another floods from a massive hull breach. The Japanese commander signals retreat. In the chaos, 6 transports over 3 weeks are sunk or crippled. 1 destroyer heavily damaged. Convoys delay schedules by days. Supplies starve frontline units. And whisper by whisper through the Japanese fleet spreads a new fear. The PT boats own the night. What the Japanese convoy commanders don't realize yet is that this is just the beginning. Their entire logistical chain, once considered unstoppable, suddenly looks fragile. They begin doubling destroyer escorts. They reduce night movements. They reroute convoys into longer, fuel-draining paths. And all of that costs time. Time the Allies desperately need. But the true impact won't be fully understood until late 1943, when US PT boats, now combat-tested and refined, ambush Japanese barges from New Guinea to the Solomons. In that campaign alone, they sink or destroy over 1,000 enemy supply craft, severing Japan's ability to reinforce isolated garrisons. Admirals in Tokyo issue blunt orders: avoid areas patrolled by enemy torpedo boats. An astounding reversal of doctrine, and a direct result of the night raids Bulkeley pioneered. The rule shatters. A new one forms: he who controls the night controls the war. John Bulkeley survives the war. He earns the Medal of Honor for his actions in the Philippines. Many of his young crewmen do not. Men like motor machinist mate First Class Frank "Sonny" Snodgrass, age 22, killed when PT-32 is lost retreating from the Philippines. Or radioman William Knight, age 20, wounded during the March convoy attacks and never fully recovering. They came from small towns, Ohio, Texas, California, Arkansas, and fought on boats held together with paint, prayer, and pure nerve. To this day, only a handful of their original PT boats survive in museums. Most were burned, scrapped, or lost to time. But their legacy endures in every story of an underdog force that refuses to accept the rules written by the powerful. And it endures in you, the listener who refuses to let their courage fade into dust. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. Every click tells the algorithm this piece of history is worth remembering. We're dedicated to rescuing forgotten stories from the archives. If you want to join us on this mission, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Where are you watching from? Drop a comment with your city or state and tell us if someone in your family served. Thank you for ensuring that Lieutenant John D. Bulkeley and the men of Motor Torpedo Boat Squadron 3 do not disappear into silence. They deserve to be remembered.